Today I'm going to be talking about traditional Chinese ink landscape paintings, especially those from the Han and Qing dynasties. These early periods shaped many of the brush techniques that continued throughout Chinese art. My project also explores how AI recreated this style and what I learned from the results. Materials and techniques of the Han Dynasty artists worked on silk or early paper, which required very precise brush control. Their ink was made from soot mixed with water, creating deep black, soft gray tones. They used animal hair brushes that allowed both extremely fine lines and broad strokes. Their paintings often showed nature, daily life, or scholars. These paintings were built by artists, usually beginning with light outlines. Then they added depth by layering ink washes, shading, which came from adjusting how much water was actually in the brush. Color was used sparingly, usually from light pigments. Over time, silk and paper aged, giving surviving Han paintings their warm and weathered look. So taking a look at the images that I had chosen, I went with the landscape ones, although there was some showcasing, humans or animals. A lot of these paintings are in black and white. However, with this top one, you can see light washes of browns, some reds in the script. Same with the one right next to it. We see lots of red, browns. The bottom right, we see reds and greens. The middle image, some reds, mostly blacks, however, and you can see with these tree lines that there was lots of water in the brush, giving a light and more splotched look, differing in the very left, where you can see that it's a lot tighter, the lines are finer, so we know that there was less water. So my first AI prompt was I asked it to create a weathered Han style landscaping using ink on canvas. I was actually really surprised with how well it captured the simple layout of the ancient Chinese paintings. However, some lines looked too bold or smeared, and without color, the painting felt a bit flat. Overall, it did show a clear inspiration from the traditional style, but I did want to tweak this first prompt a little bit and get more of a painting less than a sketch. So for my second prompt, I asked AI to add a bit of color, just like we seen in those originals, was we wanted to add just a little bit, we see the reds and those browns as well as the greens. So in this one, you could see here that they added just a touch of red, which really brought out the style of those paintings. And I also wanted to make the lines a bit finer. With those small changes, the AI produced a much more detailed image, and the subtle color, like I said, gave it more of a Quinn style feel. And the softer, finer lines created more movement in the trees. This version looked much closer to the traditional Han landscape paintings. So I did want to, bring emphasis on the trees specifically. In the first one, you can see they're much more, tall, tight, slanted, that sort of thing. But in these ones, we see a lot more curvature, a lot more movement. Um, you know, you can look at these trees, lots of movement, lots of curvature. They weren't completely up and down, which I felt was really nice and much closer to what I wanted. And then overall, this project showed how sensitive AI is to even small changes in instructions. So, comparing the two images helped me understand how much skill traditional Han artists used, especially in line weight, shading, and pressure. AI can imitate the style, which is great, but the subtle technique of ancient painters is difficult to fully recreate. Overall, this project helped me appreciate their artistry and showed how AI can help us explore historical art traditions in new ways.